The 49ers and Rams both wanted Matthew Stafford. The Rams got him. They both wanted Odell Beckham Jr. The Rams got him. They both wanted Christian McCaffrey here. And basically, in the end, the 49ers wanted him more because they offered more picks in return for a player who carries a low cap number this year. He'll count about $650,000 against the 49ers cap this year before he's due to make $11.8 million next year. That's where it gets interesting. But it gets interesting on the field this year because now the 49ers bring in another weapon to complement Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and everyone else they have on the 49ers offense. It gives Kyle Shanahan a new toy at a time where they believe their team can be and will be competitive in the NFC. And, oh, by the way, Christian McCaffrey's last game for the Panthers came against the Rams, and there's a decent chance that his first game for the 49ers will be against the Rams, who they play next week after playing the Chiefs this week. McCaffrey's flying out to San Francisco today. Now, he could play on Sunday, but at best, it's going to be in a limited role if he plays at all because he's got to get out there today. He's got to meet his teammates, learn the playbook. It's a lot to ask for Sunday. So, again, it could be a brief appearance screen on Sunday, but it's not going to be any extensive work if he even plays at all.
That's a fascinating game, and it gets even more interesting. Schefter, stay close if you can. Let me get the group in on this one here, and then we'll give you the final word. RC, here's what I'm going to tell you. With that offense, with the creative genius, and I don't use that word lightly, that I believe Kyle Shanahan is, and the unique piece that Christian McCaffrey can be. Look what they've done with Deebo Samuel to the point that Schefter just made. No receiver plays the game the way he does. McCaffrey is that kind of diverse in his skill set. I believe this makes the 49ers one of the 2 or 3 teams to beat in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. What do you think?
Man, I think it does. I mean, the first thing is the NFC isn't that top-heavy. They aren't that great at the top, which is the reason we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys being a top 2 or a top 3 team. Also, think about the way that Kyle Shanahan uses his pieces. Deebo Samuel, extremely versatile, can be used in the pass and run. Brandon Ayuk, the same thing. You can use him on jet sweeps. You can get him the ball quickly on screens. Christian McCaffrey is actually exactly the same. And so now you have all of these clones of one another, and it's like watching an old episode of Orphan Black. You don't know what anyone's going to do. You don't know where they're going to line up. You don't know how they'll be utilized. And I think Kyle Shanahan understands that. And what this does, again, is gives Jimmy G a way to get the football out of his hand into a playmaker's hand right away in space. And Kyle Shanahan is better at doing that than anyone in the league. This gives this offense another elite playmaker, but it makes it an elite level offense based on the talent that surrounds the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo.
So let me ask my defenders over here. Sam, I'll start with you. If you're game planning, as Schefter mentioned, maybe a limited role this week, if anything. But when they get him up to speed and they figure out what they can do, take me the defensive mindset. If you're going up against these guys and you have no idea where anybody is lining up.
Well, RC makes a great point, not only because of how athletic everyone is on that field, but how you can line them up at different positions. So you never know. Deebo Samuel might be lined up in the slot. He might be lined up in the backfield. Brandon Ayuk could do the same thing. And now you got Christian McCaffrey, who is a running back, but he can line up as a slot receiver as well. And so that's another addition that makes this offense so hard to stop. Athletes in space, number one, but number two, you lose out on your formational tendencies. Every week, when the beginning of the week, you get a sheet that says, okay, in this formation, this team does this, or when this guy's lined up here, they do this. You can have that for Deebo Samuel. Hey, he's lined up all over the place. But now you don't know with Christian McCaffrey. That's going to be the issue as teams face the San Francisco 49ers team.
And I can tell you firsthand, as a linebacker, when you see a running back that's a catch-and-run type guy and you have to walk with him in coverage, it's nerve-wracking. I've been in those positions trying to cover a guy that's more athletic than me, and he can run an angle, he can run a wheel route, he can run a go route. So with all those things being said, the more pieces that you have offensively, you can just change the matchups, and then the defense has to adjust accordingly based on who they think their best cover linebacker is, who is their worst cover guy. So then they try to set that up to where they're in a winning position. So again, this just gives the 49ers another great piece, an athletic piece that you can move around into the slot. You could run the double reverses. You could do everything you want to do, and Shanahan's got the brains to do it.
Yeah, look, Brooke, the term of the moment in basketball is positionless basketball. They may actually be going to that here in San Francisco. Francisco. How do you see it?
I mean, yeah, this is versatility nirvana, but I said earlier, and it still sticks with me. It's like you already had a $500 suit, and you're like, yeah, this is nice, but what if I went out and got like a custom $10,000 suit? I've never bought a suit, so I don't know if that's how much it costs, but like still, it seems like, yes, it elevates your whole wardrobe, but still, granted, McCaffrey is cheaper, so that's good.
And then a quick story. Reggie Bush, when we were drafted together, he was split out. I walked with him man to man. He looked at me. He said, "Are you covering me man to man?" I said, "Yes." He started laughing. So,
but the point is, and that's a true thing, so that upgrade is not a luxury. It is now a necessity if you want to go and win a Super Bowl. We saw it last year. Getting Odell Beckham Jr., that wasn't after the Robert Woods injury. That was before Robert Woods got injured. Getting Von Miller, they already had Aaron Donald. So these moves aren't like, oh, a little upgrade. It's, hey, I need this if I want to win.
But wait, let's not bury the lead. What happened on the play?
Well, he beat me on the route, but they didn't have a quarterback that could throw him the ball. So it was incomplete. It was incomplete.
Fair enough. RC and then Schefter, give me quick final words. Ryan, go.
I think the big thing is this: we have to temper expectations early on. But what this team can be in the playoffs as they grow, I believe, is maybe the best offense in the entire NFC. And we have to be okay with understanding they can do that, even with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, because there are so many pieces around him.
Best offense in the NFC. I like it. Schefter, final word.
Well, we haven't talked at all about Carolina. And the Panthers, in the span of 4 days, Greeny, added 6 picks over 3 drafts. And they may not be done yet. They could make more deals. But clearly they are building for the future with more and more picks. And I love the arms race between the 49ers and the Rams. They just go at it all the time. As somebody said to me last night, I hate that it's always us two teams involved for some of these players because it's like they're bidding and competing against each other on Sundays or in the offseason for players. Here was another one, and this time the 49ers got the better of the Rams. Perhaps we'll see how those picks turn out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.